want to, I guess, just make the session a little bit more educational today. I'm just going to be going over just the strategy and just like the idea and the theory when it comes down to the market. So what we want to do is we want to go over the full strategy, right? So what does the full strategy really entail? So when it comes down to it, we got to understand what it entails. And it's just a process of how we look at the market, right? So right now, there's such a beautiful reversal, change of direction, shift of momentum setup occurring right here in front of us. What we want you guys to be able to do is be able to identify this and see that this is a very, very highly probable opportunity in the market. And not just that, but it's also an opportunity that is aligning with multiple confluences, right? Obviously, right now, the chart is blank, but what we're going to do is we're going to go over what the full strategy really looks like. So when it comes down to the full strategy, I'd say understanding the trend is huge. You want to understand all these things, but trend, structure, very important. Supply and demand. And supply and demand goes into so many different things, whether that's entries, exits, equilibrium, like so many different things. And we'll talk about all that as we go. But trend, structure, supply and demand. And then I guess premiums and discounts can go into supply and demand. I know a lot of you guys are asking us, you're sending us DMs, you're posting in the Discord, how do we get access to the premium membership? How do we get access to the premium membership? So in the TradeStar members, this is going to be our free community where we're going to come in and I'm just going to be giving value, different trade ideas, different market outlooks. I'm posting charts, I'm posting analysis, we're dropping videos in here as well. And every time we go live or we're going on Zoom, you're able to come in here and participate with that as well. Now, the results have been going crazy, right? And these are trades that people are taking with us each and every day. We took these NZD trades last night, and we can see that people are having a phenomenal time. People are getting results, whether it's $1,000 in a day, couple hundred, catching sniper entries. We could scroll through, and I can show you guys thousands of people having crazy results on the charts. So when it comes down to the premium Discord, you guys are going to be able to openly have conversations, have discussions, drop charts, talk back and forth. There's a lot of different experienced traders, and we're all participating in there. You're going to have the Ask Justin Anything chat. In this chat, you can come in here and ask literally any question to me, and I'll directly answer those questions just so there's a little bit more of a personal touch. And I want to make sure you guys are gaining the specific value that's needed as well. This is going to be the premium trading room. In the premium trading room, I'm going to be dropping way more value. I post when I'm actually getting in the market. You can see my lot size, stops, TPs. I'm giving you guys updates from my actual terminal and just more charts, more breakdowns, more ideas. This is where we're mainly going to be active. And then there's going to be resources. I'll drop the settings for the fibs and the GAN box and the MACD and all those other things down in this as well. But this is what you guys are going to get when it comes down to the premium Discord. So first things first is you always want to start top down, right? So top down just means the higher time frame down. One thing we want to understand about price and where we're at is we had a very, very, very large rally pretty much from these lows to these highs. There has to be some type of relief coming off of that, right? In regards to the higher time frame, for sure this is bullish, but we want to be looking for buying opportunity as close or below the 50% of this range as possible. Like the process and when it comes down to supply and demand is just, you guys got to just understand that if this is the beginning of a move from this low to this high, what we want to understand is if this is the range that we're trading in, right? We want to focus in on that range. Right. And when it comes down to the range, really what I mean is in the trend, we know that the market is trending up. This is the ideal thing we want to look at. But in reality, the market trending up could look like this. And then it could look like this. And this is more of a reality of what a chart could look like. Right. So in regards to it, understanding the pro trend move of the market is very important. So pro trend meaning like right now on the higher time frame, this is the range we're trading from this low here to, we can just say this low or this high here, right? Now, what I want you guys to understand is this is one pretty much straight up move on the daily time frame. This looks like one wave, right? When we scale down to the lower time frame, then we can start seeing a little bit more waves. We can start seeing the trend a little bit more clear. Let me just break down what I mean by that. So let's just say we're seeing moves like this, right? And then as we scale down to the lower time frame, obviously then there's all the little moves as well. The reason why I'm going over this is it's important to start on the higher time frame and work your way down. We can go into the very much so in depth of what it is that we're looking at in regards to this. But right now, we've hit the equilibrium of the zone, right? So if I take the measuring tool from the low to the high, we've come and we've hit that equilibrium. So this is like where the market's always going to pull back to. This is like the median between buyers and sellers where supply and demand meets. This is the point where anything below this, you can start looking to take buys, right? So now that we understand that, we can start scaling and start understanding what price is doing. If this is the higher time frame, if trading from this low to this, trading to this high, from trading from this blue box down here to trading to this blue box up here, what I want you guys to understand is if this is a swing in pro trend trade means like the overall trend is bullish. It's bullish as hell. It's going straight up, right? It means that if this is the impulsive move and the trend trade, we're going to have a retracement after, right? We're going to have a retracement in internal structure, right? This is external structure, market going up. But for the market to pull back after such a big move, the internal structure is going to be looking like this, right? So on and so forth, making lows up until the point where it starts changing directions and then we start taking buying positions higher, right? So what I want you guys to understand from this is that knowing where you're at in price is important because this could be looking very bearish. And I seen people in the Discord, actually, I seen a few people, I believe, in the Discord. I'm going to go look and see who it was. Because, man, that was a great trade. It was CAD CHF Playboy Charty. Yo, Playboy Charty dropped that CAD CHF, his trading view screenshot in the Discord. Same move down. Amazing trade. Great risk reward. Great work, bro. If you're watching. These are some of the people that are in the chat. There's amazing results. That was a great move. And that move was the start of the next wave of what's going to happen. Like I said, I seen some of y'all catch this move here. This was a textbook move right here. This sell targeting these weak lows, right? And when we start breaking down the structure, this is like the full system and the full strategy, right? First thing is identifying where you are in structure. And then that's why we keep so many things in mind. We keep in mind that on the higher time frame, the equilibrium is somewhere around here, right? The perfect opportunity to buy. We keep in mind that the higher time frame is overall bullish. So the market is making a complex pullback, retracing. It's an internal trend and it's going lower. And eventually, once it gets to a key area and there's so many confluences, we know that it's going to continue on with the trend, right? So another thing we know is that on the higher time frame, looking at something like this, if we just focus in on this area and zoom in, right? Let me take this up here because this is a cool training. I like where this is going. If we can see the bigger picture in the market like this, let's say the red is a daily time frame. What you got to understand is if the higher time frame is looking like this and this is the pro trend, a pullback needs to happen, and a pullback can be very complex, right? It can look like this. It can go very deep. It's going to be hard to understand, but knowing where you're at in the market's important because you could be counter trend trading, which means you're selling, but that counter trend trade is going with the internal structure, right? So just knowing where you're at and understanding key things, only selling in the premium areas, only buying in the discounted areas, really just means this. Is once you know that this is the move that you're trading and this is the range from this low to this high, once structure starts breaking to the downside, you can take these counter trend, right? The bigger thing is counter trend. We're in this uptrend. Pro trend is meaning you're buying. Counter trend means that you're selling. It could be counter trend, but it's internally, since it's broken structure on the inside, it's internally like the internal structure, you're trading pro internal structure, right? So really what that means is you can catch these sells down, but you only want to catch these sells when you're above the 50%, right? And I'll give you guys some examples of that too. But once you see that you're in this part of the market, the pullback, if the higher time frame is bullish and you just had this high and the market's pulling back, once you understand that you're part of this pullback, as long as you're above the 50% from this point to this point, taking the sells are a good thing. Anything below the 50, I wouldn't sell. I would be looking to take some profits, because what's going to happen is there might be a reason, order block, point of interest, whatever the hell you want to call it, somewhere there that lines up with this, lower time frame changes. So what I want you guys to understand is we circled this area because when it comes down to this chart, pretty much what I want you guys to understand is off of the higher time frame, there's that move like we had in that drawing, right? This is the pullback. It's hitting this point, and then potentially from there we should go higher, right? So just trading and understanding where we're at in the trend just means this is we're at a low point, right? Price comes down, it makes a lower high, lower low. We can say these are consistent lower highs, doesn't really matter. This lower high put in this lower low, this lower high puts in this lower low, right? And now we've just put in a new high right there. So when it comes down to it, the way I look at it is this area here, this was a weak low. Price targeted this weak low. So this was a weak low. Price broke that. This was another weak low. Price broke through that. And then this is where we start having breaks of structure or change of characters. This is a reversal break of structure. A reversal break of structure or a change of character, whatever you want to say. It all means the same thing. All it means is price is going down and we get to the last high that puts in that last low, and then we break up and we make a new high. After we make a new high, we should form some type of retracement into a discount, and then we can start trending up and start making highs, right? Now that we understand that drawing, or I guess that example, what we want to do is we understand where the trend is at, we understand where the structure is at, and now we just refine the trade and break down some key things. But in regards to it, what's next? When it comes down to the full strategy, now we got to just focus in our key areas, right? We can say that below any low, there's some type of liquidity. So this low, whoops, and this low here, there's some type of liquidity. And I have to say that this is actually, it's a lower low, but it is a liquidity grab. Liquidity grab. The reason why I say this is a liquidity grab, because this was the lower low. And what's supposed to happen is price goes down, 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 makes a new low. All right, this would be the new structural range off of that. If we're still trending down, it should have came here, maybe here, hit this, and then go lower. But this created a smart money trap, ended up stopping everyone out, hitting this, and now it might go down and it'll start retracing, whatever the case is. The reason why I know this is a liquidity grab is simply because of the fact that we made a new low. There was some type of liquidity that was grabbed, and then we made a new high. Because we made a new high, it means they grabbed enough orders to move price in the direction that they want to do, right? So now what we have to understand is there's a few different things that are going to happen. One thing is, just to make it really simple, you need to know that the optimal area to buy in is right here, right? You want to buy in here. This is right now you're at a premium price. You're going to pull back and you're going to get a discounted price, and then you're going to ride it up, right? So now that you understand that, all you got to do is start adding to it, right? Start adding to it, start adding to it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fib. I'm going to grab the fib from the swing low to the new swing high, right? When I grab that fib, now I get a more refined zone. At first, I was saying, hey, you want to buy somewhere in here. That is a very big ass area to just focus in on, right? So now what we do is we have a new area where we're going to focus in here, right? So now we broaden it down from the 61.8 to the 88.6, right? Now this box that you just drew right here, what you want to do is you want to take this and pull it over here, right? What's next? You want to zoom in, and then we're going to start inspecting this area, right? You're going to start redefining your trade. So I'm going to scale down to the lower time frame. What do I find? I'm starting to find these fat ass candles, right? This is the last candle down before the move up. Cool, cool. I'm going to keep scaling down, seeing if I can find a better one. I'm going to turn this up a little bit so I could see where that's at. I'm seeing what the best time frame could be. Okay, the 5, so on and so forth. Maybe there's some imbalances in here. You can redefine it and keep redefining and keep redefining, but I'd rather just get in the trade and not waste too much time on that. So what I'm going to just simply say is if we can come down into these lows, this is the area where we want to start looking for opportunities. And then it doesn't matter really what it looks like on the way down. I don't care how long it takes, but if it comes down into here, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see some strong moves coming up out of this range, right? Something like that. I'd like to see some strong moves coming up out of this range. This is what I would like to see, right? Seeing the market that low, lower high to the lower low, to the lower high, to the lower low. Now we're in a higher high. This is the range that we're trading in right here. And this is a deep discounted area to get into. Whether you enter at the 50 or the open, this is going to be a good opportunity. And if it really starts to go and this is actually the low, what you have to understand is if this is actually the low and this thing runs, well, then you have more of an opportunity of, okay, where are we going to go into this last move? This last move was about this big. Okay, then if this is my trade, maybe I can see price coming above this 50, filling something up in this range, who knows? And then you catch a fat swing with a very good risk to reward, right? But in regards to it, that is like a good example of the approach of a simple, obviously you can go like super, super down to lower time frames and do all this stuff. But from just like a swing perspective, this is a good trade. It's like a 1 to 8, maybe a 1 to 4. Once it comes into your entry area, I mean, you can refine it. You can take a higher time frame point of interest and then scale down to the lower time frame and try to catch those crazy snipes and maximize this, whatever. But I'm just saying, this is going to be the area that's makes the most sense that I am looking to take something on, right? Key thing, I'm doing this. This looks good. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'd like to see. If it comes down here, this is what I'd like to do. Cool. That's one thing we're going to be looking at tonight. Let's talk about GBP CAD. So this is really interesting just because of the fact that the CPI came out earlier for the GBP. Your new range is from here to here. In a perfect world, retracement here to go lower. But I would just say if this builds up, more than likely, we probably will fill either this fair value gap, imbalance, inefficiency, or this one. But it really depends. If this slowly creeps up, depending on how slow it creeps up, I think it could get up into this candle. This is that last buy to sell candle, right? This is a order block, whatever you want to call it, institutional candle, point of interest. And then seeing that move down, this would be the ideal perfect setup, obviously, right? But like, there's no guarantee that we'll get the ideal perfect setup. We got to just wait and see. But before this happened, this was looking very realistic to do this. And then I was just like, yeah, if this hits, solid. But the news just took it all the way down. And when that happens, it just makes price look weird because then you also have to account for what's happening here. Whether we push through and then we have a little drop, if we actually make it through, should be that should be like a turbulence point And what I mean by turbulence is this when you're in an airplane and then, the wind is cracking and the pilot says, yo, put your seatbelts back on. It's like a little point of turbulence. You feel it a little bit, like it's a little shaky, whatever. It is what it is, right? This is a point where more than likely there could be some turbulence. It could get a little shaky and maybe you have a retracement or maybe you have that breakthrough. But this is always going to be an area where there's going to be some type of a trap to get you to sell before something like that pops. In regards to it, GBP CAD, I want to see that pull back to pull back down, but we'll see what's good with that. So this is interesting. This might be something that's like more like you can actively look to do something with. All right, here's NZD/USD. Here's a candle of interest. We've literally tapped into this. I don't know why I didn't have an alert on this, but the idea here would to be taking a position like this. Whoops. Taking something like this. Damn, it's already up 28 pips. Taking something like this to then go back up to these highs, right? This is something that we can start looking at live. Let's just scale in. Let's see what we have to do to take a trade right now. Let's do this really quick. This is 2300. All right, cool. So out of Asia range, we're like trying to trap people to go lower, right? So the thought process is all these people right now were already selling this because it was going down. And then this is where the real weak-handed sellers come in because they see all these people selling. Then a lot of pressure comes in. These are weak-handed sellers. Like at the end of the thing, they watched this thing go down all the way and then they FOMO in. And then that's where we have a reversal, lower time frame right now, NZD/USD. We've had reversal breaks of structure, right? Let's focus in on this real quick. Let's do this. All right, we're going to start looking at this to find maybe an opportunity. So we had this move, and then we've just broken past all this structure, right? So we want to start scaling up on time frames. I mean, delete this. We want to start scaling up on the time frame. Let's take a fib from here to here. All right, now that we got this fib from here to here, what we want to do is we want to find the most optimal area to get in. Obviously, right here. Anything below this line, redefine it, whatever you want to do. All right, it's been redefined, that 15-minute candle. All right, I'm just going to measure the whole thing, wick and everything. All right, here's this. Here's this. Cool. As price pulls back into this 15-minute candle, I think it's worth taking the risk to, I'd say, TP1. I'm just going to drop a horizontal line. This is a blue line. I say TP1-ish, right? T2 and then T3, something like that. That looks good. You could do candle to candle. You could do body to body. It's really up to you. But in regards to it, that's what I want to see. This is like NZD/USD. Maybe this happens here live with us or not. Regardless, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert here for myself so that once price gets there, I can start watching it since it's like actively moving, right? Off the higher time frame too, it hit the entry that I had that I should have gave y'all earlier. That's my bad. I was just trying to teach, but I don't know why the alert didn't go off. But yo, coming into this, maybe you have a reaction here, but if you break through this, then we can have some follow through, right? At the end of the day, I like the lower time frame setup, but I also like the higher time frame setup. So everything that we just talked about, if the higher time frame looks like this, lower time frame looks like this, like all of these things have to line up for something big like this to happen, right? I mean, there is the chance right now where maybe we just go up here and then maybe we just mitigate this and have one more push lower and then make that move. Or there's the chance where we can try to swing it. And that's why I would say if it does come back to where we want to enter on the lower time frame, there's a TP1, 2, and 3. And then honestly, if it gets a TP3 or if it breaks through TP2, it's going to go to 3. If it gets to 3, I think it's going to fly. That's what I would like to think and like to say. That looks really good. This is super fire. I ain't going to lie to y'all. It's super, super fire. But that's NZD USD. That was fire. I ain't going to lie. I love that. That's super fire. Let's see Euro NZD. All right, cool. Yo, I'm going to cut the chat for a second. Let's see. It's going to come here. It's either we hold this, we have some moves and we go up, or we don't get any lower time frame signs of, because what can happen is we can come into the 50%. Here, let me make this prettier. Let's say we come down to the 50% of this candle. There's a few different things that can happen. Let's say on the lower time frame, we're bearish, 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 bearish. We come down here and there's never really a break of structure back up. If there's a break of structure, then for sure we can take it higher. But if we just continue and we don't have any break of structure, I'm not going to buy until I see the break of structure. And once the break of structure happens, any type of retracement I get, I'll take the buy. But if that doesn't happen and it just keeps on showing the signs of it going down, I mean, it'll probably break the low. So right now, what you got to do is you got to see if it makes sense for you to do that. Let's do this again. So this is like the same thing, but in reverse. So plain and simple, you got a channel here. This is where they enticed weak-handed buyers to come make that last push. They've broken structure. A retracement to go lower would be cool. And then what I would try to do is if it comes back up, we'll refine I'm going to refine whatever's up here and try to figure it out and get like a pending or something. But something like that going down would make a whole lot of sense. So let's refine it really quick. These are great trades. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, higher time frame is definitely more important. But I'm just saying there's 2 trades here that are available. There's waiting for the higher time frame buy, or there's trying to take this sell to come here and then take this buy, or hold that sell and break through the low and then just keep going. Or like I said, hold it. It needs to come down here. After all of this, it needs to come down here. This is a huge candle that needs to be mitigated. So there's two different ways of looking at it. Let's see. Check Forex Factory real quick. Let's see. Somebody said, Sean, bro, you said Euro CPI coming out at 2. If it's not a red folder, it doesn't mean nothing to me, bro. To be honest, like I wouldn't worry about every folder. It's just red folders that you want to worry about, to be honest. Not to say that it's not important, but red folders are key. If you go to forexfactory.com, you could actually filter all the different things. If I turn all of them on, I see that yellow folder Euro news. I mean, that's just not gonna do anything like high impact wise. So let's get back into this. Let's fine tune this range. There's this candle. Go back down. This is the whole move. We can go here. And then right here, we see what happens. Maybe we do this. Maybe we just go all the way down. But at the end of the day, we would like to see that go back down. Just try to find an entry. If this doesn't happen, like right now, this is the low and this is the high that we're trading between. If this breaks here, I'm going to shift my focus to this. Like right now, if price breaks through this, I'm going to shift my focus to this because this is the lower high that put in this lower low if it breaks past this lower low, right? And if that breaks, it's still worth taking the risk higher up in here as well, right? So you got to just make sure that your risk management is on point because let's say right now in regards to the path tool, let's say right now we break through and we break this low that was right here. All right. This is the new lower high. This is the new lower low. If it could pull back here, it's worth the risk to just start trying to take lower, right? Now, if it doesn't do that and it breaks through and the risk is lost, then, I mean, it's still worth the risk to reward up here. Yeah. So this is the same thing with NZD-USD. NZD-USD, we want to pull back to go higher. Euro-NZD, we want to pull back to go lower. Regardless, we know this is going lower. Regardless, we know this is going higher. We've broken structure. We looked at where traders got enticed. Like you got to make sure that those things make sense. I don't have a play specifically entry TP stop. I just have the idea and the bias and the narrative of what we'd like to see. In regards to a trading checklist or anything like that, you got to have a guidelines and rules in how you want to take opportunities in the market. Because my goal here is to teach you guys how to look at opportunities, and not just look at opportunities, but look at the charts, be able to see it yourself, not necessarily rely solely on me, right? But this looks really good. This looks really good. CAD JPY, a pullback on CAD JPY looks good. Euro NZD, lower time frame, going lower. Same thing here. This is going up. We're going to see how it reacts. It's either we react off this candle or we break through the candle. If we break through, amazing, wonderful. We got a huge solid trade. If not, it is what it is as well. This thing's up 34 pips. I wish we would have gotten on that position. I'm salty about that, but it's all good. AUD USD, nothing's really changed. Same 4-hour candle. If it gets there, that's what we want to see. This is a 4-hour time frame. AUD USD isn't the fastest moving pair. This will probably take a few days. Maybe a day, maybe two, depending on news. Okay, so we got gold. Let's start scaling into the lower time frame. From here to here, gold is bullish. Gold is bullish. Right now, we just dipped into this and we broke structure. It's just got to make sense to you. Technically, it's overall going up. It's bullish, right? Overall bullish. Pulled back, hit the equilibrium there. This was a high that put in the lowest low, that put in a new higher high. Technically, you could say maybe there's something here. That could be something like that. Depending on where it goes, if it hits here or if it goes lower, you could TP1, TP2, TP3 type deal. If you want to catch a small move, the thing is gold is overly bullish. If you catch the right move, this thing might go like that. Keep it a stack. It's been going up, making a weird retracement, going up, making a weird kind of ugly retracement, and then maybe go up. Yeah, I pretty much broke down everything I wanted to break down. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna look at NZD CAD. NZD CAD, yeah, guys, it's in an interesting area as well. It just hit this 4-hour candle. Same thing. This was an even better one. Wow, that's amazing. This is looking even better. It's already up 37. I would just watch the lower time frame. Grab that. Nice job, Devin. If this gets a pullback, this could be really nice. Go up, come up into this high somewhere. Be a little re-entry down here. Do something like that. 1 to 3, 1 to 4. It could be super solid.